Okay, let's get real here for a moment. Imagine your life without your phone or your favorite clothes. How much better would it be? Because I know that a lot of you probably think that these things are essential, we cannot live without them, but the reality is that we are so attached to these material things. We give them so much more importance than we really need. And I'm just talking about like in general. If we're like really into sneakers, then we might be too obsessed with collecting them, and if we're too obsessed with cars and we feel like we should keep buying cars and more cars for no reason, like okay, it's fun to have a hobby, it's okay, but if you feel like you cannot live without that hobby, if you feel like if one day, let's say that it's World War III or something and you need to leave everything behind. If you think that's gonna hurt you a lot to leave your things behind, then you might be just way too attached, which is why I'm making this video to talk about detachment. Specifically, material detachment. Once you do it, once you practice that, by letting go of the material clutter, you actually become way happier, believe it or not. I know it sounds so simple and it sounds obvious, but we don't really pay attention on our day-to-day basis that on things that we cannot really live without. We take things for granted almost in a way, and let's just take a moment and think about how could we improve our ourselves in general, you know? If we, for example, let's say set ourselves for a challenge. We don't go on our phones for at least a week, and we only use them for important stuff like emergencies and maybe calls. So if we get rid of that for a week, would we really be able to, or do we feel like we need that dopamine? We need to go onto TikTok and stuff. If that's the case, I'm sorry, but you're too attached to your phone. You might even be addicted. And this can lead to more distractions and less creativity, a smaller understanding of ourselves, because we're so like engraved and all these things are so like within our mind, and that we don't take a moment to really appreciate the smaller things in life when we have what we have, you know? So I'm gonna propose a challenge for you guys. So imagine that you really like having sweets. So if you stop eating sweets for however long it takes for you to feel like that's it, I cannot do it anymore. If it takes a week, you won the challenge. If it takes less, I'm sorry, but you may have a problem here. I myself have done this challenge in the past, and I really struggled because I basically deprived myself from 3 of the things I like to do the most. So one of them is napping. I really like napping. When I come back from college, I just feel like I need to sleep. Then tea, because come on, who doesn't like a cup of tea? I do. And it's just, yeah, I was really suffering from that. And finally, well, actually I don't remember, what was the last thing? I don't know, I basically got rid of 3 things. Oh yeah, I got rid of social media. I just didn't go onto TikTok or anything. Even YouTube, like the only reason I would watch YouTube is if it's like something important, like a maths tutorial or something. But I got rid of those things for a week, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of failed. I had to take a nap at some point because I was so exhausted, especially when you have no caffeine. Because when I said no tea, I didn't have either coffee or anything, so it wasn't very fun. But hey, one thing I can tell you for sure is when you get rid of when you detach yourself from these things, you start to feel a sense of happiness for smaller stuff in life, things that you don't usually pay attention to. And that may include just as simple things as just going out and seeing the lovely sunset or sunrise. Like, it feels way more special when you pay less attention to these things that you're constantly obsessed about. And yeah, it's something really beautiful, which I think you all should try at some point. And yeah, wouldn't we be living in a happier world where material stuff are like secondary, like they're not important, or at least as important as they are right now? If we like paid more attention to the people around us and not what they're wearing and their social status, like like financial situation, if we didn't pay attention to those things and we focus more on their virtues and who they really are as people, I feel like we'd be living in a better world. And I know it sounds really idealistic and stuff, but I'm sure it's possible. But yeah, I mean, let me know down in the comments below. Also, feel free to suggest any ideas for a future video. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you all later.